Why was Loveland so important to Seth? Like, what was his experience like here?
Well, I would say that Loveland High School was so important because Seth found a place that he could be involved in a lot of things, and he found a place where I think he felt like it was appreciated in his involvement, in his actions and activities. He found a place where the teachers helped him quite a bit, I think, and he was appreciative of receiving that help, and then I think he returned the help. But I think more than anything, he just found a place where he could be himself, and where he had some abilities and skills, and he could use those here. We tell a lot about how he didn't have the highest GPA in his class. I think he was fairly well down the list there, but he did find a place where teachers believed they would help him and help him to work hard to accomplish his grades. And above all, he found lifelong friends in some of the teachers and some of his classmates that he would continue to have and had till the day he died.
So why do you guys want to stay involved here at the school with these interviews, these conversations you're having with these kids for the scholarship? Why do you want to stay involved with that?
I think to keep his memory alive and to show people that Seth has a lot to teach all of us, I think. You don't have to be the straight A student. You don't have to be the star of the football team. But he had a lot of goals. Go ahead.
Well, and I think that the thing that we've said about the scholarship always is that the recipient of the scholarship is going to be the person who most embodies the spirit of Seth. Many scholarships have strict academic criteria and things of that sort, and we have some also. But what we want to do is award someone with a scholarship to start their career, their college career, that most embodies the kind of person that Seth was. A helping individual, an involved individual, an individual who was not afraid to work and take chances and take some risk on himself. And at the end of the day, just be a fun-loving guy who was loyal to his friends and his family, and actually to his teachers too. He's the kind of young man that he loved to come back to the high school, you know, because he loved the high school and he loved the community. We always said, and we said in Seth's obituary, that he called Loveland home.
We feel like his home is Loveland.
I think Loveland had a huge impact on who Seth became as a man.
Yeah, because of all the things we've said, it's a good community. You're looked upon as who you are, and not what your grade was or what position did you play on the football team and things of that sort. So I think he found that fit him perfectly. And we want to keep the scholarship going to reward people that have that spirit and that attitude. And Seth was a goal setter, and we believe he achieved every goal that he had set in his short life. He didn't live a long life, but he really lived a full life. And he had fun doing it. He learned a lot of that fun here at Loveland High School. So, anyway.
The goal to Seth was to go fly.
Right.
And that wasn't where he started. He went to college and then went into the ROTC, and maybe just some of that progression. So the kids see, this is a guy that was just like me. I don't really know where I want to go, or I kind of have an idea, and I don't know if I'm going to make it, because it's like really way up here, and how am I going to get there? It kind of just went with, there are steps along the road. Went to Virginia Tech, and we know, looking at videos, that he enjoyed himself when he was there.
Oh, yes.
And then from that point, kind of what he did, because I think the underclassmen, the seniors have heard it, probably from myself, maybe Mr. Volkman, Mrs. Hager. They know a little bit more about the Seths story, but the underclassmen haven't. The freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. And I really would like that big banner up in our lobby to mean something to every single person in this building. All of the students and faculty, even the faculty that hadn't met him. So if you could give us a little bit on kind of where he went after he graduated in the class of 1997.
I think you want to start, or you?
She's good at that.
I know. She's good at passing the buck along.
But she does it with a smile.
Yeah. Well, when Seth left Loveland High School, and as I've said, Seth, I would say if you just look at Seth on paper, he was a very average academic student. He did get involved in the clubs and the sports, and he hung around after school a lot because he really liked the school. But he had that ability to make friends, and he had the gift, I think, of seeing all sides of issues, as I've seen from some of his debates. But again, he was not in the top 10 of his graduating class in a lot of ways. So he went to Virginia Tech. He did not get a scholarship out of high school. He went, just paid. He enrolled at Virginia Tech and joined the ROTC because he had always, I think that the goal of his was to someday be in the military service and to fly. And we knew that from an early age that he wanted to fly. But getting into Virginia Tech, he felt like that would be an avenue to serve in the military, to become a pilot, and fulfill his goals and things of that sort. At Virginia Tech, he earned a scholarship after his first year. He was given an ROTC scholarship, and he got. They chose their military occupational specialty, and because his eyesight was not good, he was nowhere near getting into the flight school part of it. So he got a minor in college in leadership studies, and he came out of Virginia Tech and transitioned right into the Marine Corps as part of an infantry unit, and which was interesting still because he didn't have great eyesight, but he could shoot pretty good. And he had I think some good leadership qualities and characteristics. But also,
he never lost sight of that goal.
He did not lose sight of I want to fly. I want to fly. Graduated from Virginia Tech, went into the officer candidate school, got into an intelligence, the infantry unit, but the intelligence side. Now, don't ask me what that was. I think the first time he went to Iraq, he spent his time. While they were in a dangerous spot, he spent his time talking to people and trying to make friends, of the Iraqi people. But he never lost sight of wanting to fly. So he decided the Marine Corps had enough data on corrective eye surgery that he thought, I'm going to have this corrective eye surgery, and then I can withstand the high speeds and the high altitudes. My eyes will. So he did that and told his mother that.
He said, I'm going to apply for flight school, and so he got everything together, and he drove his application to the Pentagon.
It was
I love
such
that
a
story. It's so sad.
Yeah, he said he did all of that. He did all the testing, and it's pretty rigorous because usually the pilots are the best and the brightest out of the Naval Academy, West Point, all the schools like Virginia Tech. Those guys who have the vision and are at the top of their class, they choose their military occupational specialty, and many of them become the pilots. So he didn't go that route, but he didn't give up on being a pilot. So then after 4 years, he did all the training, had his corrective surgery, got his own private pilot's license, did all the testing for the Marine Corps, drove his application to the Pentagon, and about 6 weeks later, his name showed up on a web list posting that one of 6 Marines in the entire Corps that got the aviation spot. So, and we were very proud of that, and again, it just showed Seth that, and for anybody in your role in life, is that you may not get your dream right now, but don't give up on it. Continue to pursue it, because you can do it. And I think that's one of the big lessons that I learned from Seth, is that we all have these hurdles and roadblocks and things like that. And I think
that's part of what makes us strong.
Right. Going back to high school, when he wanted to get in an advanced placement English class, and the teacher, and I can't recall her name,
Berwanger.
Ms.
Yeah.
Berwanger told him what?
Yeah.
That
he wasn't really AP material.
You're not AP material, and this
And
is.
he convinced her otherwise.
That's
Mhm.
excellent. I
And,
love
Got
that.
into class.
Yeah, and did very well in her class. And,
So I
and
think.
then went on to major in
In
English.
English.
In English.
And we're just now
Beautiful.
finding some of the things that he wrote, and there's still a lot of things in boxes that we haven't gone through. But I think the point would be that you don't have to be the standout, the tallest, the best athlete to be successful in your life. You can come from very humble beginnings and be the very, if you want to say that word, average kid, but yet if you got something big in your heart, and I think that's where Seth had a big heart. And that's one of the things too that drew him to Loveland, is that he found people here that in the community and the school, he loved the people and they loved him back. He, in his years of, after he turned 30 and been out of high school for 12, 13 years, when he would always want to come back to town, back to Loveland, to visit and get the gang together, because there's still some of his high school buddies in town. So Seth was kind of that glue person. Let's get the gang together. When you're out and you got a couple of kids, you got a job, you're like, man, I don't know about getting, but Seth was persistent in getting the gang together.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of his legacy too. That's part of the spirit of Seth.
Yeah.
Well,
And Seth loved to serve. He loved to serve others.
yes.
And
With a smile on his face.
Right.
Always.
always, always. He had a very contagious smile.
Yes, in spirit.
One other thing I remember, when he was in high school, he did a mission trip and left all of his clothes except what he had on his back in Romania, because he just
Yeah, he was very involved in student venture. And,
said, why do I have 4 or 5 pair of blue jeans and these kids here don't have any? So it was pretty impactful for us. It becomes more impactful when you look at someone's life in a capsule.
Yeah.
You see all these things as you're going along and you appreciate them, but you really don't feel the true meaning of them until you have the opportunity to look at it in a capsule. So that's pretty impressive. That's a good life lesson for me that I learned from him also.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's really
Thank you.
amazing.
Yeah.
I think that'll be wonderful.
Well,